very first match in 1-3 against Yodeo, and then came back all the way through the lower bracket to win against Yodeo again. And here we go into the first game and the pre-bans.
Yep, those pre-bans are going to be locked in shortly. Richard with the first pick here. What is going on here? Is it, get it? Double Nyx pre-ban? Ha!
We got the Nyx and the Nyx. Richard is definitely has some plan here. If he's banning out the Dark Hacker, you know, that does counter some heavy debuff teams. But I have never seen Kelianbao play with the Dark Hacker.
Yeah, that is wild to me. That's got to be some like weird intel that he's run into Kelianbao before, and he's like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that again. So there's the Nephthys first pick from Richard. Very quick drafts here by Kelianbao, though.
You know, yeah, banning out the Dark Hacker does make sense here, picking out that Nephthys, you know. Obviously very hard counter by that Dark Hacker, and Kelianbao with his light Dokebi Lord. I do not remember the name right now, but I am not fully sold on this unit, but Kelianbao has, you know, made it look extremely strong.
I'm not 100% sold on that unit either, and I'm also calling him Light Dokebi Lord. Now, Richard's showcasing a Nikki. I'm a little nervous because I'll be honest with you, if you're not bringing gas, I don't know how well Nikki can provide here, because we're not showcasing a ton of damage from Richard right now.
Especially with these last two picks, what is the Riley doing here? That is very, very questionable. And the Light Dokebi Lord name is Uldang, I just remembered. He's a relevant unit after all.
Let's see what this last pick is going to be here for Kelianbao. After seeing the very curious Riley here locked in for the rest of Richard's draft.
Yeah, I think Kelianbao can just ban out the Nephthys here. You know, that there's no defense break, there's a Triton into no CC, attack buff into no damage. It's just a very, very strange draft overall from the side of Richard here. We'll see what, you know, he bans out here. Maybe he has a plan.
Yeah, maybe he does. It's been interesting through the pre-bans and interesting throughout the draft here. So let's see what happens, because Dominic's going to be catching a ban. Nephthys, like you said, is also going to be catching a ban with the 24 speed lead coming out for Kelianbao. We're getting into our very first match with Richards and Kelianbao.
Richard, you know, having a lot of sustain there with the Nikki and the Riley, but Kelianbao also having sustain from that Uldang as well as the Light Pony too. So Richard cannot just win out like on the War of Attrition here, and we'll see if he can find the damage or the opening to be able to take Kelianbao down here.
Yeah, let's see what happens right here. Looks like Josephine's going to be landing that Provoke on top of the Chandra, so locking down Chandra. Of course, he wants to get stunned by that Chandra as well, and that's not going to be happening there.
Yeah, solid pick on that Josephine there. Definitely a good counter to Kelianbao's draft here, but overall, just a very, you know, as I said, incoherent draft from the side of Richard here that I think will just eventually be whittled down by Kelianbao.
Yeah, there's that cleanse there coming out from the Light Unicorn. Immunity's going across the board right now, so I'm not too sure we're going to see a ton of value from that third skill. I think Richard was definitely in a position he had to heal up his Josephine, because I think Josephine is definitely a unit that Kelianbao has in his sights for removing.
Switching targets to Nikki here, I actually was just about to say that I like the Nikki targeting slightly more here, but we can already see the damage that came out to that Josephine. You know, that Uldang passive does make everything do a lot more damage, and we're definitely seeing it come through here.
Now the Hug's going to come out to the Eleanor. We've got that third skill landing here, getting a nice slow landing on top of the Nikki and that Josephine. Ooh. Nikki's taking a ton of damage, and that's one of my biggest worries about Nikki, is just how often it's removed very early in games.
Yeah, you know, defense break on the Nikki, and it is just gone. Chandra getting that guaranteed crit on the S1 with that Uldang passive, just doing so much damage, and we see the Bergil doing so much damage there too after that defense break.
Yeah, Bergil does provide a lot of damage, especially when you have a high rune quality like Kelianbao here. Look at that damage going right into the defense broken Josephine. Josephine getting slammed by the Chandra, and there it is, the Uldang finishing off Josephine. Richard's not looking good.
Yeah, he definitely is not. You know, this game is over. The Uldang, as I said, I'm not fully sold on the unit, but it is very much of a sleeper unit here, giving crit damage to every single unit, and I mean, we see it just manifest there, and everything does so much damage on the side of Kelianbao, and he just easily takes the game one there.
Exactly that. Kelianbao already up one game on Richard, and he's looking pretty comfortable. That's the most comfortable I have ever seen somebody sit in one of those seats playing Summoners War in SWC.
I couldn't agree with you more there. You know, he is so comfortable for his first appearance here as well. We're going to game 2 here, and the pre-bans are pretty quick this time on the Tianlang as well as the Kowarchi.
Now these pre-bans, I feel a little bit more comfortable looking at. I feel like this makes sense. A Kavachi and a Tianlang. This works here. Now Kelianbao's got the first pick. Let's see if he opts to take something away from Richard. I don't know if he's going to take something away his last draft, though.
Yeah, those were, you know, some unknown, not so seen units that Richard was drafting, but we've got quick drafting going on here. Kelianbao, again, you know, just going pretty much with the same tried and true method here on that Chandra into the Uldong and Berghild. Richard with the Vanessa and the Cigar. A bit more meta, we might say.
Yeah, I definitely like the 33 speed lead with the Cigar. I think this is a lot better here for Richard. He's demanding turn 1 with that Escher, and I think we're going to see either a pivot come out of Kelianbao or he's going to contest that speed.
Yeah, Kelianbao, you know, he has the runes. He has the methods to be contesting the speed, and now picking up a very high base speed in 120 on the lore there, and another high base speed in the Dark Monkey, but only having 1 speed in the Chandra.
Yeah, that's really interesting to see that here. And once again, Josephine coming back to the draft here for Richard. That's so interesting to see something like that.
Yeah, you know, Richard also only having 1 speed lead now, so we might be seeing the speed leads getting bad on both sides. And Kelianbao does have the higher base speeds, so and I would assume the superior rune quality, so I do believe that Kelianbao will be getting to turn 1 if those speed leads are banned out.
Wow, so Laura's going to be catching a ban. The Vanessa's catching a ban, so no speed lead for Richard, but we have a 24 speed lead coming up for Kelianbao. We're getting into round number 2 with Richard and Kelianbao, with, of course, the Light Ivor taking turn 1 for him.
And getting that beautiful stun on the Escher. You know, Josephine Revenge is there, but obviously Berghild cannot also be stunned. Josephine does get a nice provoke on the Dark Monkey here, you know, preventing it from skill 3ing here. But we'll see if this Cigar can get a nice reset off.
Yep, nice little hug there, landing on top of the Dark Monkey. Well, hugging the Dark Monkey King. Third skill's going out, getting nice slows. The slows what Kelianbao really wants to see across the field of Richard.
Absolutely, you know, taking the chance and getting stunned on the Chandra there values the slows that much. But this Cigar will be taking a turn here, potentially resetting and controlling the side of Kelianbao.
Yeah, I like the decision to take the Cigar out here. You want to eliminate that defense break, because if a defense break's on the field, Light Vampire tends to just eliminate units that are holding defense breaks. So I think Kelianbao's making an excellent decision going after that unit.
Definitely, yeah. We saw the Julian damage actually didn't hit that hard on the Chandra, but with the Violent proc and now the speed buff, this Julian will be pumping some damage.
It really is. So we've been stunned up Chandra right now, looking for a defense break to land on this field. And he's going to choose to put that onto the Light Dokebi Lord.
Yeah, interesting going for that, especially when he has that revenge buff, just taking a smack to the face, and the Ul'dan Violent proc, and the Cigar is gone.
That's it. Cigar's dropping right there. I mean, we don't want to stun anything. If you stun something, you don't want the Josephine passive going off here. But suddenly, I mean, we might go unit for unit right now. Let's keep in mind there is sustain on the side of Richard with that Escher.
Yeah, the Escher does have that sustain, providing the speed buff also is very, very crucial here. Ul'dan just getting that damage out there and healing the team.
Yep, so a lot of attention right now going towards the Dark Monkey King. He's trying to stun up that Josephine is what Richard wants to see. And it's so funny when you draft a Josephine, you just can't get that unit stunned up.
Yeah, all of a sudden, just the monkey is not landing any stuns on that S1. Berghild, you know, opting to go for the defense break, not wanting to get that stun up here, but Julian has skill to look at the potentially lock down this Dark Monkey.
Ooh, big damage from that Light Vampire, doing a ton of damage to Dark Monkey King. Dark Monkey King barely holding on right now. And we have Kelianbao. There's no sustain to save that unit.
Yeah, there isn't, and also there are apparently no stuns. Did miss the defense break, unfortunately, on the Escher as well, or otherwise that unit would have dropped here. But Monkey getting a nice Violent proc, and Escher is gone.
Yeah, very fortunate Violent proc right there for Kelianbao. So dropping the Escher, so suddenly things are actually looking very good right now for Kelianbao. So we can set up some defense break, pummel in that damage, and really take advantage of the defense broken Josephine.
Yeah, definitely. This is just the room quality coming through here. This looks so good for Richard, but Kelianbao just has that incredible room quality. And that Josephine never got stunned. So Richard was not getting those shields that he so desperately needed to keep his team alive. And Kelianbao will be
not
taking
at
game 2
all.
as well.
Beautiful round 2 victory for Kelianbao for sure. Wow, he's got absolute control right now over Richard. Richard, I feel like, so I didn't like the Josephine at the start, and Josephine ended up not receiving, I don't think he got shields once. There was not a single stun that went out there.
Yeah, that Josephine, yeah, I didn't like it that much in the draft either. And in the game, it actually seemed kind of okay if some stuns were to come out. But since no stuns came out, it just, had 2 skills the entire game and just didn't provide much value. We're going to game 3 with the pre-bans coming out here.
Yep, those are your pre-bans. Those are now available. Tian Lang and the Kavachi available here. New pre-bans getting locked in right now. Kelianbao is at match point right now. Richard looking to keep himself alive in SWC.
Yeah, as Richard, like, what can you really do here? Like, Kelianbao, he just has nearly every monster in the game, so many runes. We can even see these pre-bans, like these units haven't really even been utilized that are being pre-banned. Like again, we see the Nyx pre-ban. We haven't seen a single Nyx being drafted the entire tournament, yet we see constantly being pre-banned.
It is consistently being pre-banned. We don't get to see it. I want to at least see the Nyx content. I've seen people play the Nyx, and then I see them not playing the Nyx anymore because it wasn't working out for them. So there's something going on, and I'm just not able to see it. But let's see what happens. Richard's got the cigar. I like the cigar first pick. I think this is a great way to start your draft off there. Chandra, Uldon coming back out for Kelianbao.
Yeah, I would have liked Richard to maybe start his draft off by stealing that Chandra. That has been such an influential monster for Kelianbao. First picking and utilizing it very well in these drafts. But so far we see a very similar draft to that of game 2.
Oh my god, we're going to see the Eleanor coming back out for Kelianbao. So Vanessa Escher coming from Richard. He's demanding that he gets that turn 1 here. Ooh, a little bit of change of pace here for Kelianbao. The Fire Desert Warriors coming out.
Yeah, change in the draft. Not exactly sure why, as second game. I guess it wasn't as clean of a victory for him as he would have liked. But Richard, we'll see how he responds to this Eleanor and the Fire Bayek here now.
Yeah, I kind of want to see Richard pivot. I know he's super into turn 1 right now, but I'm like, is there a world where we swap and we go into like a Gapsu Bruiser style? And it looks like that's not happening.
Yeah, picks the Miles. I feel like this is just a quite easy Leo last pick for Kelianbao here, or whatever last pick is most likely going to be getting banned. But, yeah, he goes the exact opposite of Leo in the Sonya, and just most likely going to be banning out this Vanessa, and actually maybe even contesting turn 1.
Yeah, I think that Sonya might be catching a ban as well. So Vanessa probably catching a ban, and I believe that Sonya too, I think, is what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's actually a bit interesting here, because if the Sonya gets banned, you don't really want to be banning the Vanessa. So then there's a little bit of mind games there. Yeah, see, now the Vanessa is banned, and now you're in big trouble since the Sonya is let through.
Yep, well, speed lead coming out for Kelianbao, and a defense lead there for Richard. Let's see if there's a Sonya trap onto the field. Let's make it interesting, Richard. What do you got? Because you're trying to stay alive here. Oh. And we have a very Sonya-proof Nikki.
Yeah, we all know Kelianbao has incredible rules in that Sonya, but the defense lead might have made the difference. Defense lead from the cigar, being able to save that Nikki. And now Richard is looking to be in a pretty commanding position, getting that strip and stun on top of the fire bake, as well as the pushback and resets coming out from cigar.
Yeah, beautiful additional damage from the Nikki. Sonya's almost dropped from that skill right there. So there's that strip from second skill Uldong, and it did a little bit of work in there, but it looks like Escher has enough to drop the Sonya. We've got Miles pumping that damage, and finally Richard's catching a gust of wind here.
Definitely is, I guess the Sonya, he wasn't afraid of the Sonya after all. I wonder if the entire team is Sonya proof here, but that is a very, very commanding victory for Richard.
Yeah, well done. He's on the board, and he's not out yet. He's trying to really give Kelianbao a run for his money here, and we're going into a game number 4 with Kelianbao and Richard.
Yeah, we love to see it, you know. Kelianbao, again, a bit questionable how he... We started the draft pretty much similar to that of Game 2. Like Kelianbao up and then changed the draft, and ultimately just getting absolutely decimated there by Richard, you know. Obviously, very nice defense trap on that Nikki from Richard. We'll see if Richard can keep it up in Game 4 here.
Yep, those the pre-bans from last time, Nyx and Veronica. Nyx, it's available! Someone can actually draft Nyx here. I wonder if anyone will.
Yeah, I wonder if anyone will. Again, we go back to those pre-bans of Game 2 in the Tianlang and the Kovarchi. Have we seen a single one of these units that has been pre-banned here? We haven't seen a Veronica, we haven't seen a Nyx. I don't think we've seen a Tianlang. Did we see a Kovarchi?
We saw Kavarchi in our previous match there with Diligent, so he was able to draft that before, but not yet here with Kelianbao.
Oh, and there is the Nyx. Will he actually be getting locked in here?
Imagine if he just takes it away. Like, it just baits absolutely everybody here. Then he's going to draft it. Beautiful.
Yeah, he's going to lock that in, and Kelianbao again going this tried and true. Probably going to be a Berg Hilt here, completing the trio that he likes to utilize, but no, choosing to go for the Eleanor. Richard again with his Trusted Cigar, now with 2-turn provokes with the Nyx on the field.
You know, show me this draft at least a year ago or 2 years ago, and I'd think you're nuts looking at a Nyx, looking at an Uldong and an Eleanor. I'd wonder where we are. Like, this whole world got flipped upside down. But, you know, here we are.
Exactly, yeah, this would be like some sort of show match of LDs that you'd think to see, but, you know, we have Richard picking up another LD there in Julian pairing up with that very fast Escher of his.
I do like this Julian inside of Escher. It's providing lots of damage for his draft here. We've got Laura being showcased. A lot of light units coming out of Kelianbao here. I mean, we could just bust out the light Ivor once again.
Yeah, I think he doesn't want to go with the light Ivor because of the Nyx there. Nyx might be canceling a lot of those debuffs from the light Ivor and then providing a lot of attack bar for Richard here. But also Richard picking up that Julian into an Eleanor. You know, Eleanor already does have that anti-crit on the pass, or glancing on the passive, and then anti-crit in the human form. So kind of already countering that damage dealer there. We see Kelianbao wrapping up the draft with a Veronica and a Laura fighting for some speed.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if he wanted that Veronica or not. You could see he threw up his arms like he missed it because he ran out of time. So I'm curious if the Veronica... Well, you know what? The Veronica works. He banned it out there. Josephine was the last pick for Richard, so it worked out for him. Escher catching the ban.
Yeah, that Veronica pick, you know, might have been the wrong pick, but it was the right pick after all. And Laura taking turn one here. Very fast Laura with the Cigar following right up, except Nemesis cuts in.
Nemesis cutting in here. Beautiful stun landing on top of that Laura. We do have the hug available. He throws that right onto the Laura. Third skill. He's looking for some slows, and we know it's not built on despair, so no stuns are going to be coming out here.
Yeah, and look at this damage already coming out from the solid Kelianbao. Richard has no heals, and the entire team is already at 50% health or below. And on the contrary, look at the Julian damage. That Laura is at full HP.
It really is. It's cleansed up here. We do have stuns available, but I feel like Richard would love that right now with this Josephine.
Yeah, just not getting stunned by the Chandra once again here, and the whole team of Richard is looking extremely vulnerable.
Yep, this defense break landing on top of the Old Dong. Old Dong handling it really, really well. Richard begging for a stun from this Chandra. That's crazy.
Once again resisting it. That is so unfortunate. Yeah, this Josephine last pick really isn't doing much for Richard here. And also, you know, picking the Josephine, he kind of forced himself into banning that Veronica, which I don't know if he needed to ban otherwise. No, and Kelianbao getting that insane violent proc there.
That's an insane proc there for Kelianbao. Richard did not want to see that at all. Richard praying for a sleep. He needs to see the sleep here. No sleep once again. The additional turn is coming out. Is the Laura going to have what it takes to drop the Josephine? Josephine stays alive here, but not for too much longer.
Yeah, I think that proc on the Eleanor just sealed the deal here. You know, Kelianbao is already in such a commanding position, but just getting that cleanse, everything back to full HP. He's just now looking to clean up the side of Richard here.
Yep, Kelianbao, he's very comfortable right now. There's the hug going right back out for the lore. There's that third skill going out there, not landing anything. Thanks to Nick, though.
Yeah, that Nick's resistance lead really doing a lot of work. You know, everything's getting resisted. So if you guys are fighting Kelianbao on the ladder, maybe resistance is the way to beat him. Doesn't seem to have a lot of accuracy, but he does have enough to win this match.
Makes it feel like 100% accuracy, 100% resistance Josephine with not receiving a single stun out there.
Yeah, that might not have been the best play here, but Laura just with the skill 3 here, probably going to be finishing the match, and Kelianbao